The Eternal Night update comes 9th of May. Let's see what it could offer us and what we know so far about it. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below as well as the bell button to get notified for new awesome videos. Alrighty then. Eternal Night, May 9th, 2018. So we are getting the new Tachan raid, the Nightfall Sanctuary. We're getting part 1. And part 1 is consisting of 2 bosses only. I'll look at it in a minute. Sandstorm Temple will also come on that date. And also we are getting, well, with the new raid, we are getting new legendary soul shields and gear. So let's take a quick look. 12-man dungeon, a raid actually. Recommended level 55, Hong Moon 15. Resets Wednesday at 6 AM server time, like everything else. And you need to finish the orange quest up to chapter 5, so you can actually get to the location of the temple in the first place. Clockwork Guardians are associated quests. That's most likely the only quest for the beginning, for the first 2. So there we'll get 2 bosses, the Peacekeeper and the Shield Bearer. I won't look much into them, but they look great, kind of a Beast Wars. You know, if you've seen the show, it's quite old one. So what you can get Grand Celestial costume and adornments. Here they are, for female and for male. Rainmaker weapon illusion. That's skin for a weapon. The dagger looks quite nice, but that's only the dagger, which if you're an assassin you almost don't see anyway. The axe looks great. The bracers and the gauntlets work great, look amazing actually. And the sword looks pretty nice as well. The bangle is, well, as any other bangle, a bit meh. You can get Peacekeeper earring, ring, Shield Bearer earring, ring, and Grand Celestial ingot and wings. I'm not sure about the last 2, but the first 2, well, obviously are rings and earrings for the new elemental earrings. You also can get Blood Pearls and Sea Glasses. I think you already know what it is. Now we are also getting the Eternal Night Sandstorm Temple. Sandstorm Temple is recommended 6-player heroic dungeon, available in normal and hard mode. Select like this. Recommended for Hong Moon 16, which is 1 Hong Moon level higher than the raid, which is strange, but whatever I can say. You need to finish Act 8 Chapter 20. That's pretty much when you're getting around the Janara Monastery, so you have to go there first to be able to enter. And what you can get from there: Awakened Urukesh earring, which will probably be used for upgrading the Tachan earrings, the new earrings and rings. Soul shoots, which who knows if it will be useful. Urukesh weapon will most likely enter some upgrade path in later stages. Helion Bracelet, which can be upgraded at later update, which means that we will have the bracelet and we can stick it in our bank and let it collect dust there. But at least you have the bracelet, you know. Once you can upgrade it, you just go. Silver Scale Fragment and Silver Scales that needed for upgrading weapons and gear and, well, quite a lot of stuff. Sea Glasses, Blood Pearls, nothing unusual. Aurora costume from hard mode. Looks actually quite great. That's actually the September 20th update from Korea, when they're getting the raid and the Temple Sandstorm. Here you can see the Tachan modifiers on different skills, but I won't look at them because they are actually already changed. We have further upgrade than this, and a lot of those are actually changed, unless they're updated to the current, but I'm not sure. So I just won't look at this when we can actually get weapons, which will happen most likely when we get the last boss. Then it will be useful to look at those numbers. But legendary accessories, a ring, that's the stats for stage 10, which is evasion 947, attack power 23, additional damage 42, critical damage 608, and elemental damage 640, which is like 200 or 300 more than the current ones, which is nice. Also, special effects generates 30 focus for 30% focus over 3 seconds on hit. So, well, if it's not a trigger and it's like on hit, it's good, because pretty much focus problems over for pretty much all classes. Has a chance to increase elemental damage by 200 for 6 seconds on critical hit. That is really nice, especially with all the boost of elements from weapons. Has chance to inflict smite on a hit. Attacking enemy inflicted by smite increases the boss attack power about 25 for 5 seconds. So the ring so far was more like inflicting chaos, which if you hit targets inflicted by chaos, you're getting 10% chi back, and that's for everyone, not only for those with the rings. Now everyone will get 25 AP boss attack power, so it's getting a bit more offensive. Let's look at the earring. I'm going a bit fast because, you know, I don't want the clip to become really long. So 947 accuracy, 24 attack power, 43 additional damage, 529 critical damage. I'm not sure the current one, but it's less for sure. 607 elemental damage, which again about 200 or 300 less than the current we have, I think. I'm not sure though. Haven't taken the current stats we have, but whatever. Special effects. Has chance to increase critical hit chance by 10% for 5 seconds on hit. That's pretty much, I think the current one has a similar effect. And attacks deal 400% of attack power as additional damage on critical hit, while critical chance is increased. So while this buff is active, you're getting 400% attack power, additional damage as on critical hit. So it's like after all the modifiers, you're getting the additional damage, which is like 400% of your AP. If you have 1200 AP, 400% of this is like 3 times more, so 3600 additional damage when you are critical hit. I'm not sure if the additional damage goes through the critical damage modifier though, but it's still something. Actually, on the earring, it's 150% on the earrings, on the current earring, so it's actually quite a boost. And has chance to inflict retribution. Attacking enemies inflicted by retribution increases elemental damage by 300 for 5 seconds. So now it's currently we have punishment, which increases the critical hit rate by 10% and critical damage by 15 or 25, I'm not sure. I don't want to lie, but this will increase the element. It would be funny if you have a raid and there are people with the BT accessories and the TT accessories, and you know, all those debuffs, and you're getting like additional chi, additional critical damage, additional a lot of stats. New legendary bracelet, available from Temple of Sandstorm. Well, since that's, you know, block, critical hit, attack power 23, critical damage 947, additional damage 20. There are quite a lot of effects, but I won't dig into them because they're also changed. Besides, we can't actually upgrade the bracelet at the current stage. These are the soul shields, which are also changed in future updates, so I won't look at them as well. And pretty much the other things we already have out of here, of that patch. Okay, so We are also most likely getting the January 24th patch, or the remaining of it. So Heavenly Grace Pet Aura, nothing is said about it. This is new stages of the Pet Aura. Nothing is said so far, so I don't confirm that we will get it, but it's possible. Because we already got parts of that update. Unleash Ultimate Pet Aura, those are the stats, but we'll look at them when we have confirmation that we are actually getting that. Hongmoon Pet Aura, stage 6 to 10, include healing, taking damage and static attack power. I'm not sure if we have that one. Haven't checked it, unfortunately. Forgot. New Tower of Infinity season. We have already Token of Infinity for Allegiance and Genesis. They're called like Sagewood and something here, as far as I remember. I can easily check, but no point at the moment. Class Bugfixes, okay. I think we didn't get those, so we will probably get them. And I'm saying it as a Force Master, I think, but I'm not doing a lot of PvP, so I can't say about enemies inflicted of Phantom Grip and Knockdown, and yeah. And pretty much skill lock, Hongmoon points, here we already got those. Arena, Hero Arena has been removed, which is, yes, normal. We'll probably get that. So, we also, there was a question to Jonathan, if we'll get a new skill patch on the 9th of May, and he said yes. The next patch that Koreans got after the December patch that we already have on skills is this one, so let's take a quick look at it. You can now upgrade Fuse Legendary Soul Badges. I'm not sure that we'll be getting Fuse Legendary Soul Badges yet. I mean Awakened. I think it's a bit too early, but who knows. And changes in Soul Badges. So Genesis Soul Badge, that's one of the new Soul Badges for the Kung Fu Master. I'm not sure if which one of them exactly, but we'll give resist to damage and status effects for 1 second while using Flying Slam move 3 instead of just stun and daze and nothing else. And the Allegiance Soul Badge will give will remove reduction of cooldown of Flying Slam when using Tremor, but we'll add reduction. We'll add cleanse, pretty much. It will remove all status effects. I'm not sure if only from the target, from the caster, or from everyone, but it's nice. Kung Fu Master can use it to cleanse some debuffs, especially in PV they're using it for tanking, so yes, that will help them a bit. And reduces cooldown of Fighting Spirit by 5 seconds per enemy hit. That apparently is not new, at least doesn't seem says to be new. The Courage Soul Badge, that's the purple from last season. Effect duration increased to 6 seconds from 5 seconds when using Petal Storm Toss. That is for Wind Summoner, last I remember. Assassin Allegiance Badge, that's again one of the new Lightning Strike, decreases cooldown of Landmine, Ice Bomb and Mind Toss by 15 seconds on hit. Blade Dancer Devotion Soul Badge, that's one of the earlier Soul Badges. Heavenly Dance increases defense by 100% for 5 seconds on use. I'm not sure, well, that's a new effect added to what it already has, so. Allegiance Soul Badge, that's again one of the new, decreases cooldown of Phantom Grip by 5 seconds on use when using Drain. Drain is used when you're using Phantom Grip, so yeah. Use Drain at the end. Devotion Soul Badge for Warlock. Fall In, that's E, that pulls the throw back to you. Decrease the cooldown of Onrush, that's Q, which is also a stun attack by 6 seconds, so you can use Onrush more often. Warlock Allegiance Badge. Gravity Well heals the familiar 40% of its health over 5 seconds, so it's, yeah, makes the throw a bit more tanky, a bit more, well, will survive longer. Blue Moon Soul badge for Shadow Gunslinger generates 50 dark light up from 20, and with some of the updates of the skills actually will allow the using Tombstone to directly get into the full dark light dark light state, so you can use it especially good with Soulburn at start of battle. You don't have to, you know, feel it, and Soulburn is over when you can actually pretty much use it at max. So yes, Mystic badges, any changes not mentioned imply no changes were made. So Dynasty Mystic badge for Warlock, attack power, all attack deal 400% down from 500 of attack power, additional damage while Blackwing is active. That's the Blackwing buff effect when using Soulburn. And Blackwing increases critical damage by 25 down from 35%. So that's the reduction for party, because that buff, only the party gets that buff, but the Warlock on the other hand gets Windstorm Frost deals 1000% of attack power additional damage, and Shadow deals 1350% of additional attack power as additional damage. That's the boost for the Warlock itself, because pretty much the Warlock doesn't get anything from that badge so far. Aransu Mystic badge gets the same boosts for the Warlock itself and no changes on other things. Bracelet, those are stage 10 bracelet. So Winged Protector for Subjugator bracelet, it currently activates subjugation effect on move 1 and 3. Now it will activate on all 3 moves for 10 seconds on use. That's for Blade Master. Kung Fu Master Subjugator bracelet, Rising Dragon changes to Tremor for activating subjugating effect for 6 seconds on use and not hit. So no matter if you hit, it will activate. Removes the bonuses from Shin Kick and Blaze Kick, but add bonuses to Comet Strike, respectively 400% for Wind and 520% for Flame when during Subjugator effect. Destroyer Subjugator bracelet. First Typhoon activates the Subjugator effect on use, not only on hit. So it will activate even if you're not hitting. Subjugator effect doesn't stack, which means that only the first spin will activate it and it won't reactivate on every hit like it was before. Removes the bonuses from Cleave and Eradicate, but adds bonus to the Typhoon itself. So pretty much the Subjugator bracelet will work only during Typhoon and not other skills. Assassin Subjugator bracelet, Decoy activates subjugation effect for 4 seconds on use and not on counter. 1 second more and it will activate on use no matter if you get hit or not, which is a boost, I'd say, because the counter has about 6 seconds cooldown, so pretty much can have subjugator effect all the time. Summoner Heaven bracelet, that's one of the new bracelets, so I won't look at it. Warlock Subjugator bracelet changes Leech to Repose for activating for 6 seconds and adds increases the deal damage for Dragon Call by 60% and to 340% up from 180 for Dragon Helix. And the Subjugator bracelet on Soul Fighter decreases the deal damage on Windstorm during Subjugator effect. That's the pew 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 in the air skill. Gunslinger Subjugator bracelet pretty much changed Twin Barrels activation, that's the knockdown, changed to Firefall, Moonshine and Sidewinder. Firefall and Moonshine, as far as I remember, cannot be reset, but Sidewinder I'm not sure. And status damage, actually Sidewinder I think it's Firefall buff, but I'm not sure. Gunners know, so they know. Status damage decreased to 35 from 400 while Subjugator effect is active. And quick shot, the rest is pretty much like all the updates we got already, which, you know, decreases the quick shot damage but adds unload damage to the bonuses. We got a similar update to pretty much all bracelets, weapons and things so far in the last patch. Soul Shield, Blade Master Teichan Soul Shield. Removes those stats, so apparently we'll get this, but I'd say that the next patch Koreans got, they actually return all those stats, so it depends if we'll get the next patch as well, the March 21st, which brings a lot of changes to the Soul Fighter, but I won't comment more about it. It's not sure that we are getting those yet. So maybe at start we'll only get those effects, unless we get the next patch, which we'll get pretty much all of those effects. Nefarious Soul Shield, that's the Black Tower Soul Shield, the Skybreak Spire. Increases the damage of Dragon Co and Dragon Helix by 10%. So a bit more damage for Warlocks, that's additional boost for 3 pieces, and 8 pieces Demon Color increases damage of Winged Storm by 40%, which is nice because actually, as we will see in a minute, the Winged Storm will get a bit of a reduction on heals, so the Winged Storm will do more damage and you'll pretty much heal the same amounts, but the skill itself will deal a bit more damage as a Warlock, so a bit of boosts for the Warlocks, both of them. Weapons at stage 9, changes mentioned. Okay, Summoner Raven Staff, 10% boost on the Rumblebees. Ransu Staff gets 25% boost on the Rumblebees, and Teichan Staff we don't have, so whatever, also gets 25%. Ascendant Dagger, that's the PvP dagger for Assassin, removes the decreasing of Bolt Strike by 40%, but adds decreasing of Shallow Slash and Venom Slash by 25%. That's the 3 outside of Shallow, if you don't know. Dreamlight outfit no longer shows the user tail. Got some notifications, sorry about it. No longer uses the user's tail, I don't know which effect that is, and probably that's for lanes only. I also saw that patch on another of the patch notes, so maybe they screwed once, or maybe that's when they screwed, but whatever. You can now open stacks boxes that require items like keys, charms, etc. So you can, if you have those material boxes from the crafting guilds, and you can actually open like 20 of them at the same time, instead of opening them one by one and clicking key, clicking key, clicking key, clicking key, and yeah. Okay, class changes. Blade Master, the Lunar Slash generates 6 focus over 3 seconds on use. That's additional effect to the focus that it already generates. Blade Co, that's for lightning. Adds new effect that on its slash deals 2.0 AP additional lightning damage while conducting soul blades. 5-point strike, resist damage and status effects for the whole duration of the animation, and not just for 1 second. The animation is staying 1.5 for 2 seconds, but only 1 second of resist. Now it will resist for the full duration. Block gets its deflect return for the first 0.5 seconds, not the full 4 seconds, just imagine it. Only the first 0.5 seconds will deflect, the next 3.5 seconds won't deflect, they'll just block. So yeah, don't cry about it. Blade Strike was the skill that was making counter currently. It had 1 minute cooldown, and since the block will have the counter, that skill is removed, so no point of it. Warding Spirit, fix an issue where projectile resist duration will not refresh while airborne. I haven't heard any of the Blade Masters inclined to complain about that, so I don't know about it. Pierce Move 1 Hong Moon skill. Conflagration And Fulmination Flash will activate on using one hit instead of two as in a moment, and the skills themselves, the Conflagration and Fulmination Flash, next skill will be used a bit quicker, so you can go in the draw stance much easier now. Ascend deals elemental damage matching the current element. I think it was non-elemental so far, but not sure. Soaring Falcon deals elemental damage matching the current element, same case. Heavenly Days, Flash Steps, and Divine Retribution deals flame damage while using Flame Tree. They were dealing lightning damage, at least the last two were. And Rising Eagle was dealing fire damage, if I remember right. Deals lightning damage when using Lightning Tree. So those skills will do damage according to the tree the user is using and not from the other one. Okay, Kung Fu Master. Flurry Move 1, that's the resist one. Actually, Move 1 and Move 2 are merged, and Move 3 becomes Move 2, and the resist becomes like the Blade Master for the full animation and not just for 1 second. Tremor Move 2 increases attack power by 100, is removed but is added 30%, and the duration is 5 seconds, down from 10 seconds on pulling 2 enemies, so 1 enemy less, 5 seconds less, and instead of static 100 AP you're getting 30%, which in many cases is actually more, but that will explain the reduction of time. Searing Blow generates 3 focus over 3 seconds on hit. That's a new effect, and it currently returns like 2 or 3 focus, I think, or 5, I'm not sure. So that will additional focus, easier focus management, piece of life, easy life and stuff. Yeah. Footwork. User moves 4 or 5 meters when no target within 3 meters. So the Kung Fu Master now can use like 5-meter rush to get close to targets like the Force Master can when there is no target, which is a nice thing. Also is a way to dodge, to evade attacks, to iframe attacks, when the boss is not, or boss or mob or anything is not in front of you. So that's really nice. Blaze Kick, condition changed, removes stun and daze from the conditions, only knockdown, and adds the new condition that knockdown enemies get launched in the air. Cooldown increased to 12 seconds from 6. I certainly hope that people will disable this skill for PvE, because airing bosses is pretty much useless. Unnecessary, I'd say. Destroyer Execute, that's the X skill, deals a lot of damage actually. Focus cost decrease to 50, down from 100, and increases skill speed, so the skill will cast faster, less cheap. Okay, it's a boost. Cleave can be used while moving. Mighty Cleave damage over time for deals damage over 4 seconds, down from 8 seconds, and can be used while moving as well, because the earth destroyers were kind of static. Iron Shield, move 1, that's the self one. The iron plating when using Stone Shield, that's the sheet-like skill, but for the user only. Increase it to 30 seconds, it used to be 24 seconds. And the cooldown of Stone Shield move 1 decreased to 12 seconds, down from 24 seconds. So the complete resist is has longer cooldown, but the block one has a shorter one, 12 seconds, like half. And the heals during that is shred in half as well, because well, it will be too much of a heal else. And Fury, the reduction of defense, 100% reduced defense while Fury is active, is removed, so the defense won't change. Force Masters, now I'm a Force Master as main class, some of you may know that. You can freely switch between Frost and Flame mode with LMB and RMB when without a target. This is nice addition, we don't have to use our Cure E to get in stance before the fight starts, which leaves us one iframe more, and I actually had problems trying to use Q while I've used it to start the battle, and it's not reused yet. Impact Move 3 is renamed to Force Cannon, that's the combo one that allows Inferno. So Force Cannon has 6 seconds cooldown, up from none. with separate global cooldown from the rest of skills, which means that it won't. You don't have to wait for the global cooldown to disappear, and you don't have to make left mouse button any cancel for it, which is really nice. Instant cast Inferno, move 1 available on hit to enemies inflicted by 5 stacks of Ember or Burn, which is really nice because if you have more than one Force Master, especially in a raid, he can burn your Embers, and when you want to cast Inferno and suddenly there is no Embers and you have to stack Embers and you can't make your rotation properly, that thing is removed. Also, burn duration from the skill is increased to 10 seconds from 6 seconds. Inferno can be comboed with other skills, which, well, for me means that its global cooldown is separated from other skills, which is nice. It can be comboed easier again, so it can be synchronized with soul, bracelets, and gear and buffs, and yes. Firestorm deflects 1 attack for 1 second up from half second. This is really nice update, especially for blocking orbs in dungeons like Evan Drake Lair, or blocking the orbs in Temple of Illuvian first bosses. Both if you're ranged or not, if you're ranged tank or if you're in some other role, anyway, it will make your life way easier. And new effect, decreased cooldown of Firestorm by 8 seconds on deflect. The normal reuse cooldown is 18 seconds, which means that if you successfully deflect, it will be 10 seconds, which makes, again, especially if you're range tanking, makes your life way easier. Sacred Flames gets 4 new effects, which is really nice. First is it now will also generate orbits, so you can use Dual Dragons and Dragon Blaze and Frost Blaze, I think. Inflicts 10 seconds burn for fire build, which is also nice because you have the burn up and you can directly start hitting the boss. Increases bonus flame from equipment by 40% and then by 100 for 15 seconds, flame only, and the same for ice. That is the same effect you're getting when you're using Awakened Dragon Charm, when you're using Dragon Blaze, and when you're using the, I think, Mystic Flame. The skill when the target is restrained by Grab, by Destroyer or Blade Dancer. So that's the same buff. You're getting it from the Hongmoon skill, which makes the skill a bit more useful now. Awakened Dragon Chair will decrease the cooldown of Dual Dragons by 0.5 seconds on critical hit. Which is like similar to the Blazing Beam, but if they don't separate the Dual Dragons cooldown from Awakened Dragon Char, it will still be really annoying to cast Dual Dragons because you're using like 2 seconds of hitting with that's about 3 to 4 Dragon Chars in that time you can cast, so the boost of damage is not always worth it, but still you can keep your bracelet up. Assassin, Sweeping Gale, Shadow Kick, Time Bomb, Bolt Strike, change to shadow damage. Some of them were lightning, I think the Time Bomb was fire. And Mist Slash, Time Bomb, Throwing Dagger, Sneak Attack and Acid Star are changed to lightning for lightning build. Again, some mods were shadow, I think, and Time Bomb was fire again. Summoner, Raw Storm, Butterfly Swarm, and Rumble Breeze has normalized projectile travel time regarding of distance. That's really useful, because now Wind Summoners don't have to stay like 5 meters away from the boss to be hitting fast. That way they can stay at their max range, because they are ranged characters. Butterfly Swarm, move 1 on Wind, adds generate 1 additional focus on critical hit, which will help the Wind Summoners with their cheer management, because it was a bit pain if you don't have proper gear. And toggle hotkey to 1 from right mouse button. A lot of summoners will cry from this. A lot of classes with block will benefit a lot from this, because currently summoners don't if you're in PvP and you're fighting like Blade Master, he blocks, but since you're constantly spamming right mouse button, you're breaking his block, and And that's that. And you don't even realize when you do it, and shield classes with block are pretty much screwed. But now it will be on 1, so suddenly the summoners will start get blocked, blocked. Oh, I have to press 1. But in the meantime, on the other part, it will be, oh, finally I'm blocking the summoner. Okay. Bombardment. Warlock. Bombardment, Dragon Claw, Dimensional Volley, Dimensional Salvo, Dimensional Charge. Normalized projectile, travel time regardless of distance, that's the same as the summoner. So again, the 2 buffs from the trial, Circle of Wrath at Hollowed Ground, range increased to 20 meters, up from 5 meters, now they'll be a bit more useful in the party. Winged Storm heals the user for 25% down from 50, that's what I said earlier, that some soul shields get boost on Winged Storm, so Winged Storm will do more damage, but will heal less, so pretty much you will heal the same. Also, Dragon Claw and Dragon Helix will get 2% healing of the damage, which is similar to Blade Master, Force Master, and I'm not sure about other classes that are healing from their main attack skills. Quell, that's the block, slightly changed the animation. Soul Fighter, left advance and right advance, that's the Force Master stance Q and D dodges, will be added on the cooldown bar, so you can know when they're reused and when you're in the Kung Fu stance. And Soul Search and Harmonize will be available in 4 stance, they currently aren't, so you can heal even if you are in the other stance, or use the Soul Search. Gunslinger inflicts 12 seconds concentrated fire per hit on Crossfire. That's the debuff that is needed to cast the Bullet Storm while on Tombstone. It was added in the last patch, so increased to 12 seconds up from 10. Both were enough if you ask me, but whatever. Bosses now cannot remove concentrated fire. Okay. Gunners have that debuff for like 2-3 months max in Korea, and they're crying for getting that cleaned. When will the burn of the Force Master not get cleaned as well? Because, excuse me, but the burn is half of the damage of a Force Master. And this stupid skill boosts like 10 to 20%, not 50% of the damage. So, when will the Force Master get that buff? But anyway, reload for both Fire and Shadow, wires cooldown. The skill that gets you wires will be increased to 15 seconds from 12, and the wires duration will last for 5 minutes up from 3 minutes. The Skystone move 1 and 2 will have the cooldown increased to 1 minute, that's Q. And Tombstone move 2, which is mainly used in PvP, loses the Unload, Penetrates, Defend, Deflect while Lethal effect is active. So Unload won't penetrate, defense and deflect anymore, and will generate 3 explosive rounds less. Actually, it won't generate 8 explosive rounds over 8 seconds, but it will just generate 5 rounds, and that's it. You're clicking Tombstone, you have little effect, but no parry penetration, and you have only the 5 rounds, and that's it. And Tombstone move 1 for Shadow will generate 50 Dark Light, which combined with the badge we saw earlier is 100, which is, well, if you click it when you get Soulburn, you pretty much are using your max burst for Shadow Gunner, which is actually, this will be quite a nice boost. And the other thing we are getting is Blade and Soul, NCSoft finally figured out that they a bit screwed the Moonstone drop rates and zones, especially with adding the crystals, so they're reducing the amount of Moonstones needed for gear upgrade, but they're increasing the amount of other materials that will be needed, so it won't actually be a reduction in price. But at least the Moonstones will be a bit more available. The amount of Moonstones you have will be a bit more available than what you have. than what currently is, and the materials that you're probably stockpiling thousands and hundreds of thousands already will be used a bit more, so you won't have like 10,000 soulstones and 800 moonstones. You'll have to use more soulstones, legion crystals, and so on and so forth. And this is what we know so far about the update. If you like the video, you can give us a thumbs up. You can click the link down in the description to visit me on my Twitch channel. You can find the shadow there. And you can click the little circle down below to subscribe for the channel. See you in the next video or see you live on Twitch.